6th grade, the porn, I jumped into some weird categories, man. This is tough. Transgenders having sex with chicks. And why am I watching this stuff? Well, because I'm opening myself up to spirits and spirits the more I watch the porn, and I don't even realize it.
This dude is crippled with guilt because he watched transgender porn and then had, well, he's about to disclose what happened next.
You know, and as it gradually goes, it gets darker. And I was watching transgenders having sex with like transgenders and then dudes. And I'm like, why am I watching this stuff? Eventually, the porn's not gonna be enough. Just like Ted Bundy, eventually the porn wasn't enough for Ted Bundy. And he started actually doing the acts, and I started doing the acts. Never ever thought I'd be doing something like that. You know what I'm saying?
So here you have a Christian influencer who very clearly feels a tremendous amount of guilt, not only due to the porn he was watching, but he believes the porn he was watching led to him engaging in sexual acts with transgender individuals. And he's crippled with guilt as a result of that, as I mentioned earlier. Look, I know like the urge is to like make fun of him or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to handle this story because he's like oozing with self-hatred, probably because of the environment he exists in.
Yeah.
He shouldn't hate himself. He shouldn't feel guilty. He shouldn't feel awful. Anyway.
Yeah, look, I don't know that I'm right, but I know how to handle the story, which is give you a little mix of both, okay? First, as I was watching it, I was like, are you sure you're against porn? Because this looks like the beginning of a porn movie. And then it started getting darker and I got more into it and I shouldn't have. Another guy's like, no, you shouldn't have, you've been naughty.
All right,
okay.
all right,
and
let's
I was
relax.
like, all right. Okay, but this thing got weirdly hot, right?
Did it, Uygur?
You see how open-minded I am.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, and it started getting darker and darker. I'm like, wait, what do you mean by darker? And he's like, I got more into it. So look, now to the serious stuff. Look, I give him credit for being open about it. And that takes a lot of courage, by the way. Especially if you live in that world.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
Where they judge you like crazy if you've ever done anything that's LGBTQ or in any way associated with it. And that dude just told you that he had sex with trans people. I mean, that seems to be what he was saying.
Yeah, but like, yes, okay, so while on one hand, there is some, I guess, bravery, if you wanna call it that way, in disclosing what he has done, considering the community that he's a part of. He's also sending the message that this is something to be ashamed of. This is something that you should feel super guilty or shameful about. And I think that's not a good message. I think that's a dangerous message. And you had sex with transgender people because you were into it. You were attracted to the people that you had sex with. That doesn't make you a bad person. Now,
look, I know people get at me sometimes when I go in this direction, but did you orgasm or didn't you? Okay, if you did, I guess you were into it, okay? So like, people gotta let this stuff go, man. It's all voodoo. It's none of it is true that it's bad. Oh, it's so bad, right? And so, look, but I do have great sympathy for him because he believes in this stuff that, again, lives in a different world that isn't attached to reality. He said, the reason he was doing porn is because he opened himself up to spirits. You know what that means? Nothing, it means nothing. It's just gobbledygook that fundamentalists say, right? There are no spirits and you don't open yourself up to them. You watch porn because it made you erect, okay? That's why you watch porn. It ain't got nothing to do with spirits. And so that's a way of avoiding personal responsibility. But look, it's okay, dude, it's okay. Just be whoever you are. And your problem isn't that you watch that kind of porn or did that kind of sex act. Your problem is that you're currently under the influence of immoral people that tell you that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I think this does open up a broader conversation about, honestly, what I do see as a little bit of a crisis when it comes to young men in America. There was a Bureau of Labor Statistics report recently that indicated 7 million working age men are not working and aren't looking for work. And when they were asked, like, okay, well, what do you spend your time doing? Honestly, like, I see a lot of symptoms of depression, A lot of them are alienated, lonely, no friends, no intimate partner. That's not good. There is a crisis happening, and I'm just gonna be completely honest. Like, I've been reflecting a lot on some of the content that I've produced and been part of years ago, especially when it comes to like men and equality in this country. And I think sometimes there's this tendency to kind of overgeneralize about men and this whole narrative about toxic masculinity. And I think more and more guys have been feeling like they're pariahs in society, and that has exacerbated this crisis that I'm seeing. So the reason why I bring that up and give that context is because part of the reason why we're seeing these young men like racked with guilt over things that they shouldn't be guilty about is because the progressive left has completely abandoned them, which has paved the way for all these hucksters, okay, that are driven by religious zealotry to jump in and take control and exploit the situation. I don't think that's helpful. I think we need to be more aware of that and actually address the issues that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, and I feel like a jerk saying this, but I think I've handled it right. And I have defended men in a way that has gotten me the ire of some people on the left.
That's very true, yeah.
And also the ire of mainstream media. I've been smeared endlessly for defending men before. Why? One, obviously I understand that perspective, right? Number two, I was a lonely guy when I was younger. So I've lived all these things. I've been a Republican, I've been religious, I've been a lonely young guy. And so we've done all these drugs, right? And so when they say like incels, I'm like involuntarily celibate. Dude, we were all involuntarily celibate. But what I then say is, then you don't have to take it in an angry, dark, hateful direction, right? I get your pain, man, I lived it. But there's a much better way to handle things than the options that the right wing gives you.
Exactly, like Jordan Peterson is not gonna get you laid. Like, just be aware of that.
No one in the right wing's gonna get you laid,
he's
man.
The most effective abstinence-only education in the country, Jordan Peterson is. And I don't say that to insult his followers. I say that to, honestly, I'm just looking out for you guys. He's making money off of you, and he's not giving you good advice. If anything, I've seen this increase in anger and just aggressive rhetoric toward women as a result of some of the stuff that Peterson preaches. And it's not helpful, it repels women. It doesn't help you in finding a partner or someone to be intimate with, right? And by the way, this goes well beyond finding an intimate partner. When I talk about the crisis among men, I'm not talking about a crisis of sex. I'm talking about a crisis when it comes to having a circle of friends, being connected with your community, feeling safe within your community. These symptoms of depression, the numbing that they engage in with various drugs that they're taking, isolating themselves from society, it's not good. And if we're genuinely progressive, and I believe we are, we should be concerned about everyone in our communities, including men. So,
yeah, look, guys. And we do things oftentimes in a joking around way, and there's ways to be light about a story and serious about a story. So look, in this case, the 7 million guys who are unemployed, are some of them watching porn? No, all of them are watching porn. Okay, what else are you gonna do?
Okay, I got news for you guys, okay? With maybe a few exceptions, everyone's watching porn, okay?
Yes.
Everyone in this room, all of you guys are all watching porn, okay? I watch porn, I watch porn.
There, she said it.
Okay.
Okay, me too.
Porn is not the problem, okay? The problem is when you rely on porn to essentially isolate yourself from everyone. When you
exactly where I was going with it, Anna. Okay, like these guys, the right wing, the religious, some of it is new stuff like Jordan Peterson and the right wing online. Some of it is old stuff like religion, putting guilt on perfectly natural urges that you have. But they all tell you, all of those folks tell you, the real problem is porn or sex or being gay or whatever it is. No, that's not the real problem. You can do all of that stuff, but then you've got to go engage in the real world with real people. And guys, when you do that, it's not easy. Everybody who tells you it's easy is lying to you. I get it, you're gonna get rejected sometimes, and that sucks, right? And you've got to find a tough balance. You have to be aggressive enough to meet enough people, but not so aggressive that you come out looking like a stalker or a psycho or whatever. And sometimes you mess up that balance and it gets awkward and you feel shame about it, and then other people shame. There's 1,000 things that go wrong when you dare to go in the world and engage with other people. And I'm telling you, it's okay. Like, just give it a shot anyway. That's what they should be telling you, to encourage you to find out who you really are and then own it and enjoy that life, instead of burying yourself either going the wrong direction and only watching porn and never leaving the house, or only going to church or mosque or wherever you're going, or to Jordan Peterson speeches and never coming out of that cave. No, go and find yourself and then enjoy that life. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.